Hello. So, the long and short of things is I broke again. I broke again yesterday. And I'm aware that I'm breaking very frequently at the moment. Seems to be happening weeks or days, every few weeks or every few days now. Whereas before it was every few months, maybe a few times a year. But I see the level of the change I'm trying to make on this occasion, where I was when I started to make that change, and where I ultimately need to go, and also the resources I have in terms of energy, mental clarity at my disposal, largely due to where I find myself at the beginning of making that change. In other words, if you want to run a marathon, it's best to train for it and not find yourself in a place where you're barely able to move and then decide you want to run a marathon. It's a lot easier to prepare for it a few months, years in advance. But it is what it is. I've gone into it with no preparation. Even on a mental level, if you're making a decision, thinking things through is like that training process. But I've been unable to give any energy to thought in terms of playing things out in my mind, really questioning how good the decision is, it, etc., etc. It's more a case of my life is too painful in the moment. I need to make a change, whatever. This is all I have at my disposal in terms of what I can think of within my mind, and I have to go with it. Ultimately, it isn't a real issue, that, because I'm conscious of my suffering and life as much as I can be in every moment. In other words, I'm watching my life at a distance. And I'm seeing my life, and, well, I've lived my life for 36 years. I can take educated guesses as to what comes next if whatever I decide. And I'm not down on my decision. It's just that I wasn't able to prepare for such a big decision because I didn't have the energy. I couldn't expend that mental energy required to think that decision through, future plan it, and make it as good as possible. I had to be a little bit more realistic to my life circumstances and say, well, yeah, no, I know this is the right decision. Let's go with it. This is all I can expend in terms of thinking, forecasting about that decision right now. I'll have to figure things out as I go along. Not the best way, but it was what was on my plate as the way. And I've been aware as I've been going along what the hazards are, what the trip ups are. And I've been doing my best to accommodate them. Unfortunately, yesterday was a bit too much. Different levels of the insanity that is my life wanted to come and play all at the same time. And it takes a lot of energy to manage insanity. So I had to admit to myself, I am broken. I'm unable to deal with the levels of insanity life is asking of me at the moment. I went inside, I restructured, recalibrated the same decision, because nothing seems to be shifting me from that decision. No matter how insane things get, it's all a case of recalibrating to that decision. But the trajectory has changed. It is looking like I am looking like and behaving like a different person as I go through this recalibration process of the positive changes I'm trying to make. And well, it looks a little bit more depressed, but that's a little bit more real. And essentially that's it. It's really knowing where I am emotionally first, as a result of my past. And if I tap into that, it really shapes my present, my current life and reality. In other words, it's easy to see life as joyful, blissful, abundant. And for humanity, in exactly the same time, you can see it in a different way, with a little bit more context that is the past, to see it's not quite so rosy. And ultimately I find myself in a very hard place in life. The challenges are too much. The pain is too much on all levels. And the only answer is to get on. Suffer it. So that's where I'm at. Do you see me as fighting? Do you see me as a warrior to life? Do you see me as weak and pathetic as a result of me being honest with my past and emotional state, maybe to a different level you can perceive? Do you see me as insane because I have a label called mental health disorder? And while reality just isn't what we were taught as kids, and I'm honest enough to say it. Is that insane? Is it insane to say what you're experiencing? If you're experiencing something insane, is that insanity? Or is all of that sane? And not to see the truth in the world, fair enough, as a result of pain, you have a justifiable reason. And to lie to ourselves that it's something else to protect ourselves, is that insane? To feel pain, immeasurable pain, on a personal level, on an empathic level to the rest of humanity, and then back to yourself to see what that means. Again, on a personal level, when you're in pain in the first instance. And to make the wise decision to lie to yourself about the external world, to manage that pain and give yourself hope for a future, whether it's corrupted your soul, your mind, as a result of denying the pain you feel on an empathic level to other human beings, that's possibly more painful or as painful as your own. And it's just too much for your body, your mind, your energy, your emotions, your spirit to be honest to. And you give yourself that chance, that hope for life. But in that karmic action, what lies on the other side is the pain and the shame of that lie. In other words, you're doing that to be able to give yourself space to heal yourself, to make yourself stronger, so you can remember that empathic love for other humans that reminds you of yourself within the collective. But it's painful. So you have to be really strong to get to that place, to experience the honesty that, hang on a second, this is true. Hang on a second. That pain that I've been denying all these years, that I've been saying is this, that and the other, is the ultimate truth. And we will never experience anything that's true in terms of freedom until we're honest with that. And when we're honest with it, because we're in the place of being so strong to life that we can handle that honesty, the result is it's painful. You accept that pain that you've been denying. But it's like a level in a computer game movie. Oh, you've just killed the one boss. You've moved up from level 42. And you're now on level 43. Don't know how many more levels there are, but this one's a new perspective. It's not my physical body anymore. It's not my mind. It's not my heart. It's not my spirit. But it's all of them as a result of being one with humanity. And I'm speaking to myself. The pain I'm putting on myself as these words are coming out, you have no idea. It's to be one with all of humanity. And all of those things that you thought you had in check are painful again. But because you've got to get to that point through healing yourself, because you told yourself a lie that's justifiable, you've got to be hungry enough to say to yourself, let's take on that pain and or insane. In that scenario, I'm definitely of the second option. Maybe that's the only way, really, to be in that selfless state where you're not doing it for yourself. How can you be hungry about healing immeasurable pain in the world when you've got to be honest with it and what that does to you? And it hurts. How are you going to be hungry? So there's a lot of perspectives for you to think about. I've got up. I'm going to go about my day, what's left of it. And tomorrow, I'll probably break again. I'll wait for the day when I can do that with a Kit Kat bar. But I won't break in that pursuit for Kit Kat to become conscious and realising they're feeding kids full of shit. And to make a healthy Kit Kat. I'm waiting for the day, Nestle.